Today we're gonna look at Ravendel, which was the successor town of Old Town. And this town was founded November 2011 and was alive till the beginning of January 2012, I think, when pop-up visited this town again. And the people who came here first were Alec Jove and JDW. They built the wall, you can see it here, the typical mob wall to prevent hostile mobs to get into the town. When the community town hall followed, which is still pretty intact, as you can see. I came here first with a root rider and built this building over here, which reminds a little bit of Witch Tower. I took out the blocks from Never Fortress. And next to this you can see the Tower of Marksmen. A typical building again with brickstone. And as you can see, this town wasn't really that big, but that's because of a reason. After 1 year we realized that Housemaster didn't really want to set any limits to the 2v2 map. And so the map grew and grew and became like 200 gigabytes big in November 2011. And if you type /typo /info, you can see today the map is 1264 gigabytes big, so it's now 1 terabyte bigger than it was 5 years ago. And because of this, a lot of people started to explore the map because it became so big. And living and building didn't really become so important at this time. And during this time I built at least 2 or 3 small things, and then I started to explore. I saw Jang in the Nether, and I saw the founding of the Valley of Wheat. I went a lot of times to spawn and rescued people. I brought Omalimix and Shogun to the server. I helped a lot of people with food. And JDW visited XCC and slayed the first Ender Dragon. Judge went a couple of times to spawn, meet up with Lenorius. And Willy Roof and Judge weren't really part of this town. They came way too late to be a part of it. Just right at the moment when Pop-Up found the town.
When was the town created, and how long did it last?
It lasted.
The town was built about 2 weeks after Old Town fell, around November 2011, and it lasted through New Year's into January or maybe February of 2012.
Yeah.
When Cream of the Slop found it, and then the next day Pop-Up had been here and erected a giant Avi swastika in the town square.
Yeah, we had I remember Christmas in this town when we gave out presents to everyone. And over here,
Nice.
yeah, over here you can see the second Institute of Agriculture. The signs are missing now, but it still has melons and pumpkins from 2011 in there. And someone removed the stairs here for whatever reason. But here you can still find genuine melons from 2011 if you want to taste them.
They're historic, they can't be touched.
Yeah, they're worth gold now. And over here this cobble tower was the building I built with Offtopia. The Nether brick building was made for Root Rider, my second art. And we had a nice biome here. We had forest, we had a river, and we had a lot of animals that of course are gone now. And over here was a building by a friend of JDW, I think, or Electrov, who was TTS ratio. He stopped playing 1 week after this place got griefed, and I think he still tried to be part of a 1 million town, but I think he was trapped by pop-up inside a bedrock cave or a bedrock cage or something.
No, what happened to, what was it, TZX ratio was about a week or two after this town was found. He kind of gave up on the server, not wanting to travel all the way out to 1 mil.
Yeah.
So he put himself in a 3x3 obsidian box and then threw out all his tools and let them despawn.
Here you can still see some signs from January 2012 when the server was found, and some visitors. Wargain was here, who was also a long player. And all in all, I think it was the core group of Judgetown, and TCSX Ratio and Omalemix joined also. Over here you can see Willy Roof's museum building. We will later see how it looked like in the past, because it was built completely out of wood. It burned down quickly.
Mm-hmm.
This ugly thing was the most disturbing thing I ever built on the server. It was by me. And it...
How is it ugly?
Well, it was built by some mushrooms, and I wanted to connect the mushrooms with each other. And it was called the Embassy of Rainbow Town. And Rainbow Town was my place for a long time, but I'm going to talk about the details of Rainbow Town later. And I think someone saw this ugly building and private messaged me and told me, did you see the ugly building someone left in our town and stuff like that? And I said, I don't know who built this. I'm not sure and stuff. And over here we can see Willy Roof's private house. He had a farm in the basement and on the entrance side, and he had on top some guest rooms with some extra beds. And I think the basement, I don't know much about the basement, Willy Roof.
Nothing much in the basement, but there's a rooftop kind of garden thing.
Yeah. I think you wanted to build some redstone farm sometime there. And I saw some wood walls when I visited later here and checked it out. And all in all, this place was mainly a hometown, a home place for travelers, for explorers, that we became after the map became so big. So everyone wanted to explore and search for other bases, raid for other bases, and meet, of course, new people. And over here we can see the library. It was the second building I made here, with chandelier on top. And when pop-up came, I took all the books out and all the wool floor. This was the animal drop. It was a pen for cows and sheep. And over here we see the most beautiful building of Ravendel. It was Marksman's flying airship. It had some floors under it where he stored his bed and his stuff inside, and I later copied the same exact airship that Marksman built here and copied it at Imtown to add something to the harbor town we had at Imtown. And I'm still impressed how detailed this ship is. It has this old style of early Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5. Most of the stuff is taken out now. Yeah, we don't see anything here. No beds, no furnaces, and no chests. And this was Marksman's place, and I think Marksman and Electrov were the most busy people in this town, while the rest was busy exploring. And over here we see the last buildings that were added, I think in end of December or so. I don't know really who built them, maybe Omalemix. There's also another melon farm, everyone had his own farm here. And a little park side with a bridge and glowstone down in the water. And I think this was Elok's house. And the other house here was, either it was JDW or someone else. And down here was the first auto farm we had. The first automated wheat farm. And I copied this style a lot of times in other bases. Because it had several levels. It went down 3 levels. And it was way more effective than my Institute of Agriculture, that was mainly a farm for melons and pumpkins. Yeah, and after Pop-Up found it, I think it was by one of his friends, Cream of the Slob. He came here and didn't really grieve it. He just made a swastika of obsidian. And then started a small building out of obsidian, like he wanted to become a part of his town, but no one really accepted him, because he was already an outcast, and no one really accepted him. It doesn't matter where he showed up.
Yeah.
And over here you can see the quarry where we took out most of the stones, and that's all about to say about Ravendel. It was a small town, it lived a short life, but it was the last town before the majority of us went to 1 million. And that's all about what I can say about it. Do you have any questions?
So who lived in here?
First guys were Electrov and JDW, the founders. When I came here with Root Rider, and later with Offtopia, so I had 2 alts here. And then later I left Offtopia here, no, I left Root Rider in this place and went with Offtopia to Rainbow Island. After me I think Marksman came, and then TCS Ratio, and I think Omalemix got invited by JDW. And maybe someone else, I don't know really. But
I lived here with Willy Roof.
Yeah, but you came very late, and the Judge Holden was too busy around spawn most of the time, I think. And the judge just came when the grieving started. I think it was already when the place got grieved when he came here. And then the Judge Holden was one of the first guys who went to the 1 million courts. I think he became a friend with Leonorius and with Chris Lighton, and then he brought up with them, and when everyone decided to go to 1 million to have a base that was ungrievable, that didn't really happen, of course, because it took a lot of bases to get a base at 1 million that wouldn't be grieved in a few weeks.
Back then, how long would it take to get to 1 million?
Oh, it was horrible. I think the Judge Holden said in his comic that he became physically ill because it took about 3 days to get to 1 million, and you have to imagine to walk a small tunnel for several hours a day 6 or 8 hours a day, and you get so blurred out and you get so motion sick that you
Yeah.
that he really got ill, and it was a tough time, and I decided to wait as long as I could, and then I took the Neverroof when it was available, because it was so much easier to take the Neverroof on the Autowalk to 1 million then.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because Omal's tunnel wasn't even really one tunnel. It was broken up into a couple different sections, so it couldn't be followed as easily. So you would also have to go through long treks just through open nether to make it between tunnels sections.
Was it because he wanted to hide the base?
Yeah, he tried his best. And Omalimix was one of the guys who extended the plus 6 tunnel, I think for 100k or something. And he was one of the major tunnel extenders back then. Any more? Yeah, we go to Rainbow Island next to see at the ruins. You won't see much because Pop-Up raged there for hours to destroy my place, but it's gonna be interesting.